Hey everyone. I've spent years on top of roofs in just about every kind of weather you can imagine. Today, I'm going to walk you through what a real, honest-to-goodness roof inspection actually looks like. We're going to skip all the confusing jargon and get right to what you really need to know about your home. All right, so let's just jump right in with the most important question we can possibly ask. Why? Because from down there on the street, your roof can look totally fine. But up here, from my perspective, it can be telling a completely different and sometimes a much scarier story. You'd be amazed how often tiny issues you can't see turn into huge, expensive problems when they're ignored. So how in the world do you know it's actually time to get a professional up there? The good news is you don't have to wait for a big, ugly water spot to suddenly appear on your ceiling. There are some really clear signs, these little telltale signs that let you know it's time to make a call. Now, what's so interesting here is that you've got a mix of the super obvious and the, well, not so obvious. A huge hailstorm rolls through or you see shingles flapping in the wind. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But finding these little black sandy bits, we call them granules, in your gutters, that's a much more subtle clue that your roof is getting older. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in just a minute. And then there's the magic number, 15. 15 years. Once a standard shingle roof hits that age, even if it looks perfectly fine from the ground, the materials themselves are really starting to get to the end of their lifespan. Trust me, a proactive look right now can be the difference between a planned, simple replacement and a middle-of-the-night emergency call because a leak just ruined your living room.
All right, now for the fun part. This is what I love. Come on, let's get up on the roof with me. I'm going to show you exactly what my eyes are trained to look for, the real, hard evidence of your roof's actual condition.
Okay, so the very first thing I do is scan the whole surface. I'm hunting for anything missing, cracked, or what we call bruised from a hail strike. See that spot right there? That's not just a little cosmetic ding. That's a breach in the armor. That is a weak point where water is just itching to get in. Okay, let me quickly define a term you're going to hear me say a lot, granule loss. The easiest way to think about it is this. Those little granules are like sunscreen for your shingles. They're that gritty sandpaper layer that protects the shingle's core from the sun and weather. When they start to wear away, that shingle gets exposed and starts to break down so much faster. And boom, this picture shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Just look at the ridge of that roof. See how it looks kind of pale, almost bald in spots? That is some serious granule loss. The protective layer is pretty much gone, especially on these high traffic areas, like the ridges and hips that just get hammered by the weather day in and day out. So here's the crucial link, right? Where do all those little granules go? Well, they wash right down into your gutters. When I pop open a gutter and see it filled with this black sandy sludge, it's like a doctor reading a lab report. It's undeniable proof that the roof above is aging and losing its protection fast. Next, I zone in on the most vulnerable spots on the entire roof. Anywhere something pokes through. A pipe, a vent, a chimney, that's a potential leak waiting to happen. I am meticulously checking the flashing for any rust or decay and making sure those rubber seals are still flexible and intact. This is where most leaks actually get their start. Finding all this stuff is one thing, but that brings us to the most important part of my job. Because spotting the damage is half the battle, proving it is everything. And for that, the single most important tool I have isn't a ladder or a level. It's my camera. This, right here, is my whole philosophy. My word is one thing, but a sharp, clear photograph of damage on your roof, that is undeniable. I don't ever want to just tell you there's a problem. I need to show you the problem, so you understand exactly what we're looking at. And these photos, they do so much more than just show you the issue. They're your power. They are your leverage. This is the clear, objective evidence that an insurance company needs to see to approve a claim. It takes my opinion right out of it and just documents the cold, hard facts of your roof's condition. It's all about protecting you. Okay, so the inspection's done. I've got a camera full of photos. So what happens now? What should you expect from a real professional who actually has your best interest at heart? Let me be crystal clear. My job is to inform you, not to sell you. There is absolutely 100% no place for high-pressure sales or scare tactics in this business. My goal is to give you the honest truth and lay out your options, whether that's small repair, a full replacement, or hey, maybe even telling you your roof looks great and you're good for another few years. So this is basically the blueprint for any trustworthy report. We should be able to sit down, go through the photos one by one, and I'll explain everything in just plain English. You'll get my honest, straightforward recommendation, and if any work is needed, a clear, written estimate with absolutely no surprises. And this really is the bottom line. I provide the facts, I provide the photos, I provide the professional expertise, but you are always in the driver's seat. It's your home, and the final decision about what happens next is always yours, period.
So, instead of lying awake at night, wondering or worrying about that one thing that's protecting everything and everyone you love, an honest inspection gives you something you can't put a price on: clarity. It replaces all that uncertainty with a clear understanding and gives you a solid plan for the future. Thanks for coming up on the roof with me today.